Hi folks, I'm H. Brown here with producer Tony De Renzo with the Candidates Collaborative. We're looking at June the 29th, 2024, the second meeting. First meeting, we're scheduling them at 1 o'clock. No shows until about 4 o'clock last time. Jaime Gutierrez showed up and then came the next day too. So I'm developing a relationship with Jaime. He's a Muni supervisor, and I'm a retired teacher, and there are 5 more of us that I'm hoping to get into the collaborative. I've heard from Julian Bermudez. He says anytime, any place. So I told him Saturday at 1 o'clock, which is here and that. So we've got 20 weeks left. So that's a lot of 16 weeks left. Whoa, yeah. The time is cutting down and all that. But traditionally in Europe and the like, they have something like a 6-week campaign period before they have their election. In the United States, presidential elections, people start running for office 2 years away, 2 years out. So, and they had, if you're trying to get rid of a candidate, when Chesa Boudin got in, they filed recalled papers as soon as possible. They wanted to do it the day after he took office, and I think they had to wait a month or something. But anyway, this is Candidates Collaborative. I'm H. Brown with Tony De Renzo and the dog Skippy. What I was hoping to get together this week with the collaborative is we've got the Hill Bomb coming up. The Hill Bomb is in District 8, but the people they arrest are from the Mission District 9, which is our district, so I'm thinking it will be a natural collaboration to get a collaborative to come together to deal with what the cops are going to do. And I'm saying let's not wait and go after them and sue them later after they've done all the bullshit that they did with the people. Let's start in advance, and let's point the camera the other way. Let's point the camera at the cops and do facial recognition with the cops. The cops are having a meeting Monday evening at 6 o'clock or something. I'll give you the address, but anyway, it's on 24th Street somewhere. But the cops are having a meeting to discuss the Hill Bomb. I'll definitely be there for that one. I'll be there in the morning. Rules is having a special board committee to they're going through charter presentations to see what they can get on the ballot with charter. One of the things they put on is electing the director for the Office of Police Accountability. If they can put that on the ballot, they can put police chief on the ballot. So that's a big push of mine. So that's 2 things Monday there. But I'm saying that we as a collaborative, we should get together and have some kind. First of all, I want to ID the cops that planned this last year. The chief claimed that he was not involved in the planning of the police response. Anytime you get 125 of your cops in an operation, I think the police chief ought to be intimately involved in that. But he wasn't in that. Hopefully he will be in this one. Their idea of an outreach, though, is it was on the 8th last year, so their idea of an outreach is a meeting on the 1st, and that's it. My idea is the collaborative should say, let's point the cameras the other way. I'll go tomorrow or Monday, and I'll come on, and Tony and I will produce a show and show you who the cops are that are planning this. The top brass, I'll show you their pictures, and when you get on the scene, the thing to do is all of you fans, all you people there, point your cameras at the cops. Get pictures of their faces. Some of them, they have tricks Like they will trade coats with the guy in another precinct on the other side of town if they're going to do bodily harm. They'll wear somebody else's ID. We got some real rogue cops here, and Mission and the Tenderloins got the worst of them. So count on that. But get facial recognition of all these cops. If you see one or two of them getting together, if they're burly, they're probably on steroids, so watch your ass, but get pictures of their faces. Facial recognition. You want to know who did what to whom. The Hillbaum, Sister Vishnu, one of the co-creators of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, had an idea that I scoffed at, but she was right and is right. She said, H, bring in a corporation. Let them put straw bales along the side of it and let them go like hell and do the thing and make it a money-making event. Now the sisters have made millions of dollars turning sarcasm and hate and ugly things into things of beauty and understanding and tolerance. So I think Sister Vishnu, that's Kenneth, I won't give his last name. I don't know if he wants to be outed. Anyway, Kenneth's idea, bring in the corporation to do it. Probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. I don't know. These are rogue things. I wrote on my site that maybe it should be like, what's the last of the month, Tony? The bicycle thing at the last of the month? Critical mass. Critical mass, yeah. Critical mass to fuck around with the cops, change routes all the time. And the Hillbaum could too. I mean, they could come down Russian Hill and have some beautiful views and some beautiful shots. But anyway, that's coming up, and that's something that I wanted to push. There's a deadline on August 1st for the supervisors to be done with their charter amendments that any propositions they're putting on the ballot. So that gives me a month to get to talk Peskin and the boys into putting elected police chief on the ballot. I'd say Peskin's the one to lean on there because he's running for mayor, and he'd be giving away a really big piece of action that he would control were he elected, and I sure hope he is, and he should be. But if he's not elected, he could be given the power to the people anyway. So it's a good thing that he could do this. I hadn't even realized that it would be possible to get this on the ballot this year, but it is. So what they're doing with the Office of Police Accountability is they're having the election next year. They're putting it on the ballot. The people agree to the election this year. They have an election for a 2-year term next year, and then 2 years after that they have an election for a 4-year term. So we could be doing the same thing with police chief. We could be having the thing is on the ballot and approved this year. Then next year we have let's see how many people would run for police chief. I know what you'd be hearing a lot of out there: foot patrols, promise you foot patrols, promise you foot patrols. And I think that in addition to making the police chief an elected office, that we should put foot patrols into the charter. Foot patrols and police kiosks at major intersections, at all the BART stops. Put it in the charter so that the chief has no choice but to post those things. They were before. I mean, before there were cars, there were cops, and the cops managed to cover the same area. We can get people on foot again, but the tendency now is to go the other direction. The tendency now is now you're talking drones. Cops are getting further away from the people, further and further away. It's all becoming mechanical, and that's not healthy. That's not healthy. The cops should should come from the neighborhood. I did a piece last week on training our own cops, raising them in school, starting them as crossing guards, assistant crossing guards in kindergarten on up until middle school when you have monitors. And nowadays you need monitors on every floor because there's nut jobs all over the country, and they will shoot up and murder. And my crossing guard system, with the monitor system in middle schools, worked really good at Potrero Hill Middle School, and it'll work at all of the 112 public schools in San Francisco if we can implement it. And that's another meeting coming up. But so my schedule now is Monday morning rules, and I'll go in. I want to write up this this charter amendment to elect the police chief. I already wrote that one up, but I'm working on the charter amendment that puts in foot patrols and police co-bands or kiosks or cop boxes or whatever you want to call them. They're all around the world. Some of them are elaborate little police mini stations, and some of them in Tokyo and in Southeast Asia are nothing more than a little a box in the middle of the road that officers take turns setting in and directing traffic. No flashing lights. They actually still do that some places, but of course not here. But we can start the kids and get them trained up till we have to reinstitute the program that we had working with cops and special ed teachers. Only there's a Urban Alchemy. There's a new player in town, and I'm very much sold on Urban Alchemy. They're taking you seen Urban Alchemy, Tony?
Yeah, they're all over the Tenderloin, and they're all over the city now, really.
What do you know about those guys?
Well, most of them are like criminals, and I mean, people wanting a second chance, and they're out there working to help police the community and clean it up and make it safe.
Okay, can we set this up where we can talk to each other and you be on camera?
Oh, that's okay. I mean, we can't.
Okay. But anyway, I started reading on this lady that founded it and started reading. Do you know how that started, Tony? Every single one of those guys in the original group was on they were lifers. They had no chance of parole, and they had gotten out of when they had no chance of parole. So these are some hardcore motherfuckers, man. And so they built it around them, and now they've gotten down to the point that not absolutely everybody is an ex-con. They let a few people in. But that's basically, you got it exactly right. That's what it's about. It's hardcore ex-cons, and it fits right in with my.
It allows the community in that area to police itself. To learn to respect itself too.
Well,
because they're hiring pretty much people that live in that area, and they're learning how to police up the area, learning how to respect it.
And they're the tough guys. I mean, now they're giving them some legitimacy. That's what I did with my monitors on Potrero Hill. I had the toughest kids, and I put an orange vest on them and gave them a clipboard, and it worked. I would think that I'd like a team from Urban Alchemy. We talked about this last week, I think. Remember? A team from Urban Alchemy to come in and train monitors at each of the 100 schools, so that you could get, so that you can have somebody on every floor to shout with a lookout block. Yeah. Every floor and outside too. So if somebody comes running at the school with a machine gun, you'll get a little warning in advance anyway. But sounds crazy, but I remember when I was a little kid, I had nightmares. And the nightmares I had was because when I was 5 years old, it was 1949, and we'd run down to the basement of the school and get under the drinking fountains that were the lowest for the kindergarten kids and hide there shuddering because we were practicing for a nuclear attack. So I mean that was some I'd go home and have nightmares about it. You know, it was now you've got something. I won't say it's more real than a nuclear attack, but more likely because it's happening hundreds of times a year. We have mass shootings in the United States, so let's get ready for it and let's start in kindergarten, first grade, whatever the community thinks is appropriate in that school community. So that's my push. Let's see. Anyway, germs don't have to be alive, and they can only have a meaning if they've got a living organism to infect. I'm watching some guy named Dennis Noble, and he was being interviewed by a woman named Andrea, and this guy's fighting with Richard Dawkins, and they're about Darwin and the origins of life, and the word that these biophysicists come up with is purpose. Purpose. And theory, the show is Theory and Reality, and I'm watching that. August the 2nd is the deadline for the board-initiated propositions for November 5th, 2024. The critical mass went under my window, and it was 3 bikes. And the guy in the lead had his big boom box, but I know that wasn't the critical. It was the last of the month, but they were just going home from critical mass. I'm sure the critical mass still gets hundreds, I would think anyway.
Well, it was really big back when you were running for mayor.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, they used to get 1,000 people.
We used to go to that bar right there on Turk and something. I forget what it is. Hyde. Turk and Larkin. And
Down by the federal building.
yeah, right. And the critical mass would go by and
Go by,
yeah,
and go by, and go by.
and
Yeah.
go by forever.
Yeah.
And then they go off in different directions.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't
Yeah.
like they all stayed in one group. They made several groups.
They used to
and
drive.
went
Used to drive the
took over the
cops.
whole
Used to
city,
drive
you
the
know?
cops crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then people, the
And you, costumes and characters. And, yeah, they express themselves very well.
San Francisco has slowed down. It's we got a death of fun people like Raphael Mandelman. I mean, you talk about fucking yeah,
Now
the
it's
turd in a punch bowl. You know.
it's all visualization and techies.
Now they don't want to risk getting a big crowd together. I like 1,000,000 people. You know, every now and then. You know, a couple times a year. You know, get the entire community out and get things boiling. But I don't know what else I have. We're at how far are we into this?
Up to 19 minutes.
19. Well, I'm going to close it down. We're just under 20 minutes, but this is the second Candidates Collaborative here at H. Brown's with Tony De Renzo. We're at 286 Valencia, number 26. For any of you candidates who want to make it, we're sitting at Saturdays from 1 to 3. So thank you very much, and bye-bye. See you next week.